Welcome to The Book of Life, a show about Jewish books, music, film, and web. I'm Heidi Estrin. In this third episode of interviews from the Book Expo America conference, we'll hear about Jewish books for adults. In addition to hearing from publishers about their upcoming titles, we've got an interview with Jewish author Gayla Gabriel, whose book Leaving with Love is welcoming to readers of all stripes, but is informed by her own Jewish values. The background music you are listening to right now comes from the CD Maelstrom, Songs of Storm and Exile by the New Orleans Klezmer All-Stars. This CD is a companion to the book Jealous Witness, Poems by Andrei Codrescu, and we'll hear about that book and CD package in our first interview today. The final podcast in the Book Expo series will cover books for all ages about the Holocaust. I hope you've been enjoying the series. Please let me know by posting a comment at bookoflifepodcast.com or by emailing me at bookoflifepodcast@gmail.com.
My name is Holly Mikulowski, and I'm with Coffee House Press. This fall, we're publishing a book by Andrei Codrescu. The New Orleans Klezmer All-Stars got together with Andrei and set all of his poems to music and pulled in a bunch of guest singers, including Harry Shearer, Ivan Neville, Coco Robichaux, a bunch of the crew from New Orleans, to take care of his Katrina poems. And we're packaging it together with his book, and it'll be out in September.
The poems are about Katrina?
Most of the poems are about Katrina. That's about a third of the book, and all of the Klezmer songs are that section of the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Does he live in New Orleans?
Andrei does live in New Orleans,
okay.
And the members of the Klezmer band, some members do live in New Orleans, some live in San Francisco and all over, but all of the singers are New Orleans regulars. Yeah. And the band will be touring. They've got some sponsorship from B'nai B'rith, and they'll be all over the country with the book, and hopefully with Andrei.
So the band and the author are touring together?
As much as they can, and the band is touring separately for the CD too.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm Carrie Kania, and I'm the publisher of Harper Perennial. And I think that the two books that come to mind is the new Michael Weck's title. He's the author of the best-selling Born to Kvetch. His new book is called Just Say New, and it's coming out in trade paperback from Harper Perennial in the fall. And then the other book, which we're really excited about, is a novel by a new writer. This is her debut novel. The writer is Diana Speckler, and the book is called Who by Fire. We're doing it as a trade paperback original. We're going to publish it in September. And it's a really kind of a remarkable family story about a mother desperately trying to hold together her family. You know, they haven't really spoken in about 10 or 15 years. They're very much trying to, bring their family back together. But she's a really remarkable new young writer that we're excited to publish.
Okay. And so obviously it's a Jewish family.
It's a Jewish family. There's a very large Jewish component. About a third of the book is set in Jerusalem. One of the sons goes to live there, and the mother and the daughter want him to come back to the family and kind of deal with what's broken up the family.
Right.
Not to give it away, but there's something that's happened, and he runs away from it. And so does the daughter, and so does the husband. So everyone is running away from the issue.
Wow. Very dramatic.
Very dramatic, but also it's, the central theme is family. It's also very emotional, and I just love it because she is a new young voice on the scene, and it's very accomplished writing. It's really spot on. It's very emotional. You just hope that this situation doesn't happen to you or someone you know. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
If you're going to record this, I'll start out by saying, and you have to butt in. Okay. Okay. I'll start out by saying that I myself am a displaced person. I came to the United States in 1950, and of course, one of the things that happened is that we have no photographs of our family, and or we have very few, and all the photographs we have are post-war. And of course, my parents in those post-war photographs are horribly thin and malnourished and stuff like that. And so we really have nothing except every now and then we could find a photograph or somebody from Poland would send something. So when this book came to us, it was kind of like this incredible feeling to see somebody who kind of reconstructed his history. And who also, my mother was from Krakow. She was a city girl, but we have no idea what my grandmother looks like. We have no idea what my mother's brother looks like. Nobody. We don't have anything of any of these people. And here he is, kind of creating this life, recreating a history of his family. So wonderful to see it. This kind of very Polishy looking, very villagey looking, and very real looking, because that's what his family was, and it's really beautiful.
Explain who we just keep saying he. Explain who he is and how he did this and why he did this and what the book is called.
Sure,
and everything.
it's called I Am My Family, and it's by Raphael Goldchain. And he is a photographer. He's based in Toronto, and he does all kinds of photography, but this particular book was born basically when he had a son, and he wanted to be able to share a family history with his son, and all of a sudden it dawned on him, really hit home to him, like, wait, I don't know anything about my family history. I know a little bit. We just don't have anything that I can show him that's like a family album. So that's where he really got the idea to do this, and then it became a real passion. And he talked to anyone he could that was still around from the family, but also did a lot of research, and then through a lot of memories that he had of some people who had passed away that he knew when he was a child. And he recreated their clothing, their way of sitting, their hairstyles, men and women, and became them for this. And when you see the portraits, and then in some cases you can see an original picture of the person, it's uncanny how much he looks exactly like them.
So these are photographic portraits of his family, but they're reconstructions using his own face, so that there really is this family connection there. So you see in him his all relatives, and right. In his relatives him.
Everyone leading up to him.
Yeah.
And then in turn leading up to his son. So it's just a really beautiful celebration, really, of his family.
Yeah. So now you had that little documentary. He was smart enough to film the process as he was doing this, so that you can actually see him getting made up.
Yes.
And then I saw in your video how he's getting made up with the long beard and the hat, and he looks like an old man from like the turn of the century, turn of the last century. And then he held up the little picture of the real
grandfather,
Zadie, and he looks just like him come to life. It's like
exactly.
It's like being on a movie set or something with somebody in costume.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's sort of the level to which he went to do this. He really, really wanted to capture the essence of these people, and I really think he achieves it. And in the book too, you see he writes about his memories of these people, what he knows about them. So you get a real feel both visually and by reading about them, who they were.
There's one photograph that I particularly love that's of his aunt, but he'd never known his aunt. He took his aunt's sister, another aunt, and used her to reconstruct what he thought the dead sister looked like. It is a memorialization, but it's not
morbid or maudlin or something.
Maudlin.
Right.
Yeah, it's a celebration of his family. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes, we think so.
We love it. We love the book. It's beautiful.
And just so I remember who I talked to, can you each say your name so it'll be part of the recording? And
Sure. I'm Catherine Myers from Princeton Architectural Press.
Nettie Algin from Princeton Architectural Press.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Rabbi Hara Person from URJ Books and Music, URJ Press. Our really exciting book for this year is The Torah, a Women's Commentary. It's an amazing book, and it's really a groundbreaking book because it is the first comprehensive scholarly Torah commentary written entirely by women. It's written by 100 Jewish women scholars from around the world, as well as about 150 poets, again, Jewish women from around the world. So it's just an amazing compendium of Torah commentary, and it's got scholarly commentary, contemporary reflections by leading women clergy and women active in the Jewish community, as well as poetry that sort of complements the scholarly material in a really interesting and innovative way.
That sounds really good.
I mean, I could talk about it for hours. The women in the book are Reform, conservative, Orthodox, secular, all across the spectrum, which makes it also really interesting. It is definitely feminist, but it doesn't represent one kind of feminist perspective. It's multivocal in all kinds of ways, and has some of the most amazing women scholars who are currently working, both senior scholars and then the next generation of up-and-coming scholars.
Did that take a long time to put together?
It was 14 years in the process.
14 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a huge undertaking.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tell me everything.
Okay, I'm Gayla Gabriel, and I'm a former educator for many years, and I retired from education so that I could follow my dream and publish my book called Leaving with Love, Eternal Messages from the Heart. And it's a keepsake of personal notes for your loved ones. And what happens is the reader takes a personal journey through the exquisite hardcover book, and they engage in the different heartfelt messages that are in there, the different exercises, so that they can leave notes, love letters, information about themselves, what to do with their pets, God forbid they are not here tomorrow, how to conduct their funeral, write their eulogy, their obituary. But basically it's a huge love letter for whomever you care about, your children, your spouse, your loved one. And from my own personal experience, if I had that, my life would have been different after my father passed away as a teenager. And when my friend, who was somewhat like my brother, passed away when he was 40 from a brain tumor, I realized that people didn't know enough about him. And so this whole process started where I said, wow, he's an amazing person, and I'm at this funeral that's so generic. I wish that he had written some things about himself. And that's how it started. And then I realized I am a grief counselor now, grief recovery specialist, actually. And I also do end-of-life counseling. And the people that I sit with, first thing they say when someone has passed on, oh my God, they didn't leave me a letter. I didn't know what to do. I wish I knew more. And so this book also will answer that for your loved ones. And hopefully it will be a huge healing and a way that people continue saying, I love you long after they're gone.
That's lovely. So it sounds like the book is not only giving you ideas, but it's actually interactive because it includes the envelopes that you put your letters in.
Yes,
and so
letters.
This becomes the actual physical gift to the family left behind.
That's exactly right. And you could even put CDs in there, or photographs, or any type of message media that you want inside the book in the envelope. And it also, there's a lot of white pages, so you can decorate or add something, add photos, put them on the backs of pages or on the envelope itself.
It's almost like an invitation to make a time capsule.
It is oh, I love that. It's exactly, see how beautiful that is. It is a time capsule. And it's forever and ever, because, we may pass on, but I have a son. My son will have children. I want them to know something about me. This is my legacy, and they are still a part of me.
Since you don't know when you're going to die, you would have to update it pretty regularly.
Yes,
you go back to, you sort of make a regular habit of
absolutely, and I do mention that, to do some parts of it in pencil. There are pages that you actually write on, including there's envelopes. But yes, you should go in there. Maybe you write a letter a year and you put it in there.
Right.
I've had people tell me they do that. And things change. Like, Mike, if you wrote down the people that you wanted to come to your funeral, and it's 10 years later from the first time some of those people, they may not be here, they've moved, they need to, or you may say, just look in my cell phone, those are all the people. I mean, we have different ways we keep people that we know about now, right? You're absolutely right. It's a very good point. You do want to keep updating it, and in the instructions it says that, because hopefully we're not going anywhere for a very long time. But like Oprah says, none of us will promise tomorrow. We have no idea.
It's giving me chills just listening.
Thank you. I think that's a good sign.
Tell us the name of the book and everything.
The name of the book, Leaving with Love, Eternal Messages from the Heart, a keepsake of personal notes for your loved ones. It's a hardcover book. The publisher is Sparks of Light, and I'm the author, Gayla Gabriel.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I schlepped up and down every aisle at Book Expo, but I'm sure I still missed a few Jewish books. If you know about other brand new or forthcoming titles that you didn't hear about in today's episode, please post a comment on our website at bookoflifepodcast.com or email me at bookoflifepodcast@gmail.com. The Book of Life is supported in part by the Association of Jewish Libraries, tending the tree of knowledge and promoting Jewish reading by supporting Judaic libraries and librarians. Visit them on the web at jewishlibraries.org. Our background music is provided by the Freilach Makers Klezmer String Band from Sacramento, California, whose CDs feature upbeat music from Ashkenazic and Sephardic traditions with Brazilian, Gypsy, and Celtic influences. Borrow their CDs at the Feldman Library or buy your own copies at freilachmakers.com. To download episodes of the Book of Life podcast, visit us on the web at bookoflifepodcast.com. Links to the books mentioned on the show are available on this website. You can also hear the latest episode by phone. Just call 916-313-3820. Thanks for listening and happy reading.